I'm going to do just a general quick overview of my collection, toy collection, and I'll go through specifics on some of the different cabinets and displays in a later segment here, but just a real quick shot at some of the things that I collect. Just a quick walk around the room here. Obviously, I focus mostly on building sets from the 40s and the 50s. These are mostly Block City blocks and Bricktown sets. A lot of stuff made by Gibbs and other various manufacturers from around the world. This guy's a Soviet Union set. This guy's from Australia. This guy here is from England. This one's from England as well. This is more Block City block sets. These are some older sets here, pretty hard to get a hold of. Store display here. The various auxiliary sets and so forth. Brick City, these are actually an Australian toy here. Kind of neat. And these are Town and Country building sets made by Grayshaw in Georgia. Compatible with Block City blocks, by the way. Some of the bigger box sets they made were kind of interesting motorized sets. Gibbs Main Street, also compatible with Block City blocks. Built some kind of cool stuff. Little run past some of the drawers of Block City blocks and Bricktown and that kind of thing. These are pieces that I use for building various dioramas. Yellow Block City windows, those are pretty hard to find. And we're get into American wooden bricks. It's a box for a Block City blocks store display. And various Wholesome sets and some Wholesome Fort America sets. Some more Bricktown. And some German sets called Dietl Plastics. Those are kind of neat. Some more Wholesome stuff. Blockville wooden block sets. Then into American plastic bricks and flat box sets. Then into the various canister sets they had over the years. They're arranged in chronologically in terms of when they were released. Some more American bricks, another product they made called Nachis, and some other kind of neat stuff they made, chess sets and that kind of thing. I've got a number of sealed sets of those. And some more American brick sets. And then later on toward the end they started making the flat box sets after they'd been bought up by Play School, American bricks. And it's early when they're still wholesome. The American Army bricks, which are kind of neat. They're the same as the American bricks, but they're green. And other various sets they made there. And we get into later wholesome sets. This is a set called Constructioneer, which used a lot of the American bricks, American plastic brick sets, but they started to get into more of a Lego kind of a thing where you could automate things and so forth and so on. I have a couple of older Lego products and a couple of building sets that these are actually available at the national parks now, these sets here. And then these were some later American brick sets. After, in this case, after they were bought up by Play School. And these are Canadian reliable easy lock bricks. Look very similar to American bricks, but they are not, they're a little bit physically smaller. So they also made some log sets here, which are these guys here. Pretty unique set. And then Elgo also made these American Skyline sets, which are pretty cool. They made a sort of the downtown Chicago building type sets. They were of course located in Chicago, right near Chicago. So here's some various size in the flat box sets here. I've had a number of these sets that are unopened, so kind of neat to have those. Then they also made a canister style set for the American skyline as well here. And then these are Spanish Exen castles, or Exen Castillos in Spanish. Very similar in form to Block City blocks, except Exen made a lot of different shapes and so forth. They had these Exen West sets here, which had some specific pieces for a given building or so forth you could make, and they had Spider-Man sets and all that. These are new ones. This company actually went out of business in, I believe, the late 90s. This company, Exen Castillo's, called New Generation, is actually started back up and is making sets now. So they're making some kind of cool stuff. So various other Exen Castillo sets here. It's kind of neat. They had some sets that were so big they actually came in like a 5-gallon metal bucket, which is pretty neat. Those are pretty hard to find. So various sets of logs, American logs, which are square logs, similar to Lincoln logs. And these are all made by Halsum. These are earlier, late 40s, typically. And then they had other variations of these. This is a Walt Disney set, American or early settlers logs. And then these are some later sets of American bricks here. Some more of the Halsum sets. They made some sets called Frontierland logs, and made a set that's the same type of logs called Frontier Logs. This one's in a little bit rough shape, but it's very difficult to find set. Different from standard American logs. And then the various sets of American logs here. Different size canisters and series and so forth. A couple other little fun things I got in there. And of course the iconic Lincoln logs sets. Some kind of neat stuff, like including ones that came with figures. Early on they came with lead figures, then later they changed to a plastic rubber figure. And these are some flat box sets. It's a set called Miniature Timbers. These are kind of neat. These are made in Colorado. Got some kind of interesting things there too. These logs are called Roy Toy. Made in the U.S. They're still made now, and they made quite a number of different sets. They made a lot of sets that were for a given, either a given vendor or like a national park, a state park, or that kind of thing like that. So they got some kind of interesting things here. And they made a number of other log cabin building sets. Here's more of the Roy Toy sets, log cabin play sets. And again, they had the neat ones like this is a Mesa Verde set. These are Yellowstone here, Lake Tahoe, smaller size Yellowstone set. All the sets are the same parts in them, just different size sets. Some Tinkertoy sets. This is a Tinkertoy electric motor set. I just got a working electric motor for it, like the one pictured on the can here recently. Those are kind of hard to find. So, and these are called Curtain Wall Builder. These are actually also made by Tinkertoy, or the Toy Tinkers in Evanston, I believe, Indiana. And a metal set to build curtain wall buildings. There's a lot of those in the Chicago area too. Some more various size Tinkertoy sets and competitors to Tinkertoys. A lot of people made different products similar to Tinkertoys. Some of the motorized sets. I mostly have the canister style sets as opposed to the flat box sets. It's kind of interesting on this space age erector set with a rocket cone top, and some other competitors to erector set here. Bildo and some other kind of interesting guys. These are the so-called milk carton sets. Then some other competitors are Urbana Manufacturing, which is a kind of a erector set product, and some other similar guys. Those are flat box sets of erector sets, and some other similar, and some girder and panel sets. One of those guys over here. Oh, these are family items, carvings that my dad made, and some other older things from my grandfather, who was a blacksmith. And Renwall plastic planes, those are pretty cool. Some other similar things. A lot of armies in plastic stuff, and a few other Atlantic sets and so forth. These are all plastic army guys, like these guys here. And some more of those guys down here. These are typically sets that you sent away for in the back of comic books, where you got 100 soldiers in a box kind of thing, and there were these little plastic guys, which I always liked when I was a kid. That's actually a set that I had, or actually the set on this side, I'm sorry, when I was little, so kind of neat. Some of those guys are French that are down there. And then these are some little Mr. Peanut stuff, but these guys are actually from the Soviet Union, and a lot of these margarine figures, these white ones, came in a little wax bag in a tub of margarine in Germany. Margarine figuren. So they had some pretty neat ones, real well made typically, and some other sets, 100 cars sets and all that kind of thing like that, and similar sets like that, as well as other sets that came on cards like this. Oops. And pretty interesting. Those guys are Lido, and they made a lot of different sets like that, so fun stuff. Little Rosbro Christmas cabinet. These are the snowmen with the little pipe, and they came with some candy canes or suckers or something in the back of there, and other various little Christmas items. Some of the Santa lanterns, had one of those when I was a kid, pretty neat. Some other various miniature toys. A lot of these I had since I was a kid. Some of them were given me by my aunt when I was 6, 7, 8 years old. I still have them. She was an antique dealer, so she had some kind of pretty neat stuff. Some more little miniature toys and kind of gumball machine kind of things. Several of these I actually had since I was little. And some other sets I have for basically for setting up dioramas. This is from the movie Cars, but I was actually at the actual Route 66 Conoco Towers place like this. So anyway, some other building sets and so forth, army tanks and that kind of thing, and some more miniatures, gumball machine guys. I got quite a lot of the charms and that kind of thing like that. Some Ajax plastic guys. And I also have a bunch of swizzle sticks, which is a collection one of my aunts actually started. I have actually thousands of these guys now. They're kind of interesting little drink mixers in the 50s and 60s. I still use them today actually, so quite a few of those. And then this is sets of instructions for building blocks and so forth. So quite a few different other various miscellaneous toys and souvenirs and that kind of thing like that. And just a quick overview of some of the models that I have. I build some of these. I haven't built as many as I would like, but enjoy building them when I get the chance. Got a lot, mostly airplanes. I have some cars. Planes I have tend to typically be the propeller type planes. I'm not too much into the jet thing, and later planes, some mostly older ones.
As I say, I'll do more detail on that later on if people were interested to see.
Various toy soldiers, mostly lead in this cabinet. A lot of the comic book guys I have in cases down here.